Hello my friends, this is the 13th of February. Mr. Max Bliss in the southwest of France. I am recording the greatest crime in history. This is an outrageous affront to humanity. To try and palm this off as all natural phenomena or something that comes from aeroplanes as harmless. We can see the frequency effects in the skies. We know this is not your billows and all your ridiculous phenomena we talk about. We see this on a daily basis, in fact many times a day these days. Look at the frequencies in these clouds. We know that there is a very, very long history of governments lying to its own people, experimenting on its own people, committing illegal wars. Tony Blair, you evil man. David Cameron, Libya, and supplying weapons and funding to these mercenaries in Syria. We know that the French former Foreign Minister Roland Dumas was asked to support an insurgency war in Syria 2 years before the troubles started by the UK establishment. That's a fact. The governments are liars. And the UK Met Office are implicit. I know, they know. They know, I know. This is a fact. This is weather modification on a grand scale. This is geoengineering. This is real. This is outrageous. We should be lied to. EMF technology such as that used at IceCat 3D in Norway, such as the various radar installations all around Europe, such as HAARP in Alaska, such as Suri in Russia. There are many different ionospheric heaters and high-powered radar installations capable of sending these radar waves, these microwaves through the atmosphere now that there's plenty of barium, aluminium oxide, strontium, and I've heard recently but not tested it, uranium hexafluoride. I can't confirm that because I haven't tested for that in rainwater analysis, but I have tested for aluminium, barium and strontium, and they all came back excessively high. This is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Just a normal plane there with potentially a normal contrail. Look at that thick, toxic trail. And look at this. Come on! How much longer can governments deny this is going on when this is becoming so blatant, so obvious? Crisscrossing of patterns. This isn't just hot air and cold air cutting and thrusting and rolling the clouds like we're making street clouds or something. This is outrageous. Very unnatural. These are things we never used to see before, especially in the southwest of France where the weather was very, very predictable. You had 4 clear seasons and you had very fine weather. In fact, I live in a region that used to have the highest number of sunshine hours in France. Not anymore, my friends. We've just had 6 weeks solid of rain, and guess what? The next week is rain as well. This is why it's geoengineered. They're bringing in the storm from the Atlantic. They're changing the air pressure so they can steer the jet streams. This is what you can do if you've got the technology. And they've had the technology for many years now. They've known about how to do this since the 1900s. And now they've been putting all their installations into place and building up a huge global infrastructure of technology so they can do this now. It's time to wake up. This is real. This isn't normal. Come on. Think about your holiday pictures you used to see in the southwest of France. This is not normal. This is scientific manipulation of the atmosphere. Look at it. Any doubts whatsoever? Does anyone think that this is natural? And if you do, this is incredible. It's not natural. You must be mad. These trolls from Metabunk and Contrail Science, God, no doubt you'll get a medal from the Queen, but you guys are deluded if you think this is natural. Incredible. And I tell you what, for you guys at the UK Met Office, I hope you get to watch this. because you guys are insane. I've talked to some of you, and when it came down to the nuts and bolts and you couldn't deny that chemtrails was going on anymore, some of you said, oh well, there's too many people on the planet anyway. And that's a fact. Fancy using recycled batteries to get your electrolyte, your barium, recovered through a furnace system so you can use the nanoparticles to spray us. It's not the first time you sprayed, is it? Operation LAC, Project 112. Those are American ones, but also Portadown British ones. Those were in the 50s. A very long history of experimenting on humans, and in many cases without their consultation or consent, just as we are witnessing today. Outrageous. I hope you can see all this, because these are the types of things that can draw in weather systems. This is how they manufacture huge storms, like the ones that hit the Philippines with the mobile HARP SX, whatever it's called, floating HARP unit that was taken over to the Indian Ocean. This is how they do it. They're messing around with our atmosphere, and they're able to manufacture the weather. Climate change. In the EU were writing letters of concern about the HARP system being used to alter human behaviour, because mind control is an element of this, as demonstrated in 1991 in the first Gulf War, when all the troops surrendered and George Bush had them firebombed because he couldn't let the world know about a mind control weapon that could make a whole army surrender without firing a shot. The EU government were concerned about the use of HARP to create climate change, to create earthquakes, like the one in Haiti, like Fukushima, like wherever. Any geopolitical earthquake that suited the New World Order agenda of making sure governments start adopting their plans, then you can be certain there's a deniable weapon involved called HARP. And all these metal particles they spray in the chemtrails, aluminium oxide, barium, strontium, etc., 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 are used to propagate the radar signals and to act as semiconductors, and basically to manipulate the environment, the atmosphere. This is all researchable facts. When you got the EU government talking about it in 1999, you know it's not just a conspiracy. When there were treaties made in 1977 about weather warfare, don't forget Operation Popeye, they were extending the rain. Doesn't take that much, you know, that was a long time ago. Operation Cumulus in 1952, they killed 35 people at Lynmouth. Yet, of course, there were even books written to say that it was just a normal, or a freak weather event. It wasn't. It was manufactured, and the government lied about it for 50 years until disclosure came after 50 years. 35 people died. The government kept it a secret. They lie. They have a long history of lying. They use propaganda. They deny things are going on. Have you noticed all the denials from the establishment are rigid lines of denial? That means they've been briefed. They've got established storylines they will stick to. They don't have thoughts of their own. They just parrot fashion regurgitate the established lines of denial. These people need to grow a backbone and start speaking out and help us. Disgusting. And we know that the toxic effects, all the whales, they've got aluminium toxicity. Aluminium toxicity. We understand about heavy metals like mercury polluting our environment. Aluminium. So you've got the ocean. Where do all these chemtrails fall? 6/7 of the Earth's surface covered in the sea. Marine life. food chains, eco-disaster, and that's Agenda 21, Sustainable Development. Congratulations, scientists. You've just won the insane award of the millennium. Well done. It's time to wake up. It really is time to wake up. Look how it's changed. This is manipulation. This is how they whip up a storm. They're bringing in this Atlantic storm. Steering the jet streams using high frequency or very high frequency EMF frequency modulation. This is what they're doing. I'm no scientist, but I've read a lot of things and I can see a lot of things. It's time to wake up. Enough's enough.